And hello, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, once again. No shoulders today. Some work came up again, unfortunately for him. But we have a lot to talk about today. A lot of good stuff, especially the Los Angeles Angels last night. Not sure if any of you guys saw that. That was pretty cool. I'll get into that in a second, but head over to Twitter to follow us there. Follow the show at ST Sports Podcast. Follow my personal one at Jimbo ST Sports. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play. Head over to YouTube. Subscribe to our channel over there. And we do have a shirt on Teespring right now, up for sale if you guys want to buy some. Excuse me. Definitely gonna get mine probably tonight, and I think we have some tank tops over there as well too. I'm gonna check that later on. But like I said, kicking off the show, last night, Los Angeles Angels. Me and Shoulders talked about a couple weeks ago the pitcher for them passing away. And last night was the first home game that they had since the pitcher passed away. And not only was the first home game, all the players wore number 45, which was his number, his jersey number. And pitched a no-hitter. You know, it's just eerie how that all happens, kind of in a way. And I brought up to a couple guys at work about it, and the one guy actually came back down to me and was like, did you see that they only had one walk the whole game? So they were one walk away from a perfect game, the first home game since he passed away, and the night they were wearing his jersey number. I mean, that's weird with baseball. You go back to, what was it, Felix Hernandez, I think the kid's name was, for the Marlins. One of his good friends, D. Gordon, hit a home run to win the game in extra innings. You know, their first game back since he passed away. It's just weird how sometimes like that, things like that happen. And, good for them. And the real cool picture they put out there was they all took their jerseys off and laid it on the mound with the 45, up in the air on the pitcher's mound. That was pretty cool. And kudos to the players for doing that as well. So, staying with some baseball talk. The Major League Baseball and the Atlantic League, it's an independent league basically, have an agreement that they agreed to back in March, I believe it was, that any rule changes Major League might be interested in doing, the Atlantic League would try it out. And about a month or two ago, they talked about bringing in robotic umpires, which there'll still be real life umpires behind the plate, but they wouldn't be calling strikes or balls. These robots or this computer, whatever it would be, would call it in to the umpire who has an iPhone hooked to a headset and stuff and call it that way. Umpire would still be able to overturn it if it was, say, hit the dirt in the front of the plate, bounced up into the strike zone or something like that. Something weird, he could overturn it. Now they just released some more rules they want to change. One of the rules they want to change is right now when you try to bunt with 2 strikes and it goes foul, you're automatically out. Now they want to change it to, if you foul with 2 strikes, it counts as a foul. If you foul it off again with a bunt, then it's an out. That's stupid. That's just retarded. I am totally against that. There's some rules that you should just keep how they are. I mean, they work for a reason. I know, I said a couple weeks ago about Major League Baseball needs to kind of get with the times in a way, stop living back in the past. But some of these rules you got to keep. Another rule, they're going to relax a little bit on the check swings to be more batter friendly. I guess kind of be a little bit more air more on the batter's side than the pitcher's side. Again, that one there, that's still going to be a judgment call for the umpires. But this one right here is absolutely retarded. So, if you have 2 strikes and a pitcher throws the pitch, you swing and miss, or if it comes over the plate and the catcher drops it, you could take off for first and try to make it and be safe. Well, now, you could actually steal first at any time. Batters can steal first on any pitch that was not caught in flight. That's the exact words that Major League is putting in place. Basically, and they kept on going and said it basically expands the traditional drop third strike rule to all pitches, and batters can be thrown out if they try to run. That's so freaking stupid. I just don't understand why they want to be so radical. And, when we get to the next topic, I'm going to kind of tie it in a little bit. The commissioner for Major League Baseball came out during the All-Star break because they were being accused of juicing the balls by some Major League Baseball pitchers, Justin Verlander, I think DeGrom was another one. And Manfred said, there's nothing that we're doing differently, that we're trying to juice the balls. It's actually just the opposite. We're trying to not have so many home runs and this, that. Some of these rules, it sounds like you want more offense. And you know what? If I'm going to the game, I'm more the offensive guy. I would want to see more home runs. But if it's a close, 2-1 game or whatever, and it's a legit pitcher's duel, I actually don't mind seeing that type of game. Now, supposedly some of the fans, most of the fans want to see those home runs, and, that's why there's conspiracy theories out there that Major League Baseball is juicing the balls and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Kind of talking about the robotic umps or whatever. Back in March, they announced the first set of rules, including it's called TrackMan Radar system for calling balls and strikes. They want to ban the shift and a 3-pitcher minimum. The only rule they've put in place or that suggested that I am so for is banning the shift. I can't stand it. I know, again, a couple episodes ago, me and Shoulders talked about it, and he's okay with it. I just don't like it, and I just don't understand why some of these hitters, no matter how slow you are and this and that, why not just try to bunt it, down the opposite baseline of wherever they have the shift. Matt Carpenter, I think it was, did just a couple weeks ago where they put the shift on him and bunted to first, or bunted down third base line, and actually got a double out of it because there was no one there. So why not try it? I just don't understand why, why not more teams try that to help eliminate the shift without banning it, as a rule. As far as the TrackMan system was used the first time in the Atlantic League All-Star game this past Wednesday, the umpire behind the play was Brian DeBroer, And like I said, he had a earpiece that's connected to an iPhone and would have the strikes and balls, relayed to him. But even now that, say if it is called a strike or ball or whatever, the ump's got to say what it is, and a coach does not like it, and he comes running out and wants to argue. Now the ump could say, well, hey, it's not my call. But what happens if he overrules it and the coach comes out to argue it and he says, wasn't my call, it's the robot. So this kind of gives the umps a little bit more way to get out of any type of arguments and may eliminate some ejections, if you want to say that. I mean, that part of the game I kind of like, though. I remember this one time, me and my dad went down to a Baltimore Orioles game against the Detroit Tigers, I believe it was. And play at first, Baltimore was on the field. We got the guy out. Detroit Tiger guy went ballistic, spit the gum at the umpire's net. It was the funniest thing to watch. The whole crowd, yeah, get him out, eject him, this, that, Some of the baseball stuff that has been always been around, they should not change it. Like I said, the bunting, that shouldn't change. That should still stay the same. Where if you bunt on the 2 strikes and it goes foul, you're out. This whole running, if the catcher drops the ball on the first pitch or second pitch, don't change that. It's gonna ruin the game. I think they're trying to change it too much now, and it's gonna ruin the game. Now, speaking of ruining the game, Justin Verlander thinks the game's getting ruined by juicy balls. Yeah, I saved that all day for that one. But so during the All-Star break there, he came out and said that he believes 100% that the balls are definitely different the past couple of years. It's uncomfortable for him to be out there now, not knowing how the ball is gonna feel or react to some of his pitches. And he may have somewhat of a point, because so far this season players have hit roughly about 3,500 home runs in the first half. They're on pace to hit close to 6,700 home runs, which the record is 6,100, which was set back in 2017. Now, this I didn't know when I heard the headline about Verlander, but I didn't know Major League Baseball owns Rawlings Baseball. They bought them out a couple of years ago because I think Rawlings was kind of hurting a little bit. So, but if you're Major League Baseball and you're more focused on getting more offense compared to more defense, then obviously the first thing you could do is doctor the ball. A couple of pitchers says the seams feel a little higher, the ball feels a little harder. Now, when I read a little bit about this, the one thing they brought up about was it could possibly be how they're being stored. The balls get made down south, and they get stored in 2 different locations. One is set at like 50% humidity. Another one is set at 70 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. Then get traveled to the ballparks. Well, weather could affect it a little bit. But also, players are getting bigger and, hitting the ball harder, swinging the bat harder. So, to totally say it's all Major League Baseball, doctoring the balls, and they're the whole reason why there's more home runs, I can't believe that. it could be a major part of it, but I also think, Justin Verlander, he's getting older, so maybe not as good as he used to be. Some of the other pitchers, maybe some of their stuff isn't as good as it used to be. They could be having an off year. But I don't think, and the other point that Verlander pointed out, that he kind of has a point, is Major League Baseball has been using juice balls for home run derbies for years now, which obviously, if you watched this past year's home run derby, Vlad Guerrero, he's just a beast. And it's pretty funny to even think he's better than his father, when how good his father was, But again, if they were using it then, before they bought the Rollins company, the Rollins company would already know how to, fix the ball or doctor it a little bit differently to get more offensive out of it. So why wouldn't Major League say, hey, just alter it a little bit? Manfred keeps coming out saying, oh, we're still doing studies. Oh, we're still waiting for the results. They've been doing studies since June of 2018. And they still can't figure it out. You're a sport that goes, April to early November. So you're going 7 months. You play year round. So you can't get enough results to figure out what's going on. Is it the ball? Is it the pitchers just not being as good as they used to be? Is the batters better than what they used to be? Is it everything? There should be some way to figure this out. I know Verlander's getting a lot of heat and being called a crybaby and this and that, but I don't think he's being a crybaby. I think he's just being outspoken about a certain topic. Also, I think it was maybe the day after me and Shoulders recorded last week. Kawhi Leonard finally announced where he was gonna go. He is going to LA, but not the Lakers. I'm kind of happy he's not going to Lakers. So he's going to the LA Clippers. He's going on a 3-year deal. What was like $103 million deal with a player option for the 21-22 season. And he probably could have got a few more years if he wanted it. But he chose the 3 years because Paul George is also going to the Clippers and has 3 years left. So if this 3-year experiment don't work for Leonard and Paul George, they'll be pretty much the top of the cream for the free agency period in 2021. I know Shoulder said he's a big fan of Leonard's, and I'm starting to really like him because I guess someone asked him, why didn't you go to Lakers with LeBron? And he came out and says, because I could shut him down. It's not that I hate LeBron, but I just don't like how LeBron's all this. He comes across like me. Like just yesterday or the day before, he was going to switch his number so Anthony Davis could wear number 23. Well, the Lakers had to ask Nike if they could do it, and Nike came out and said, no, we made too many jerseys with the number 23. Can't do it. So I'm glad people are finally putting their foot down and saying, LeBron, you're not running the show no more. There's no more big threes, this and that. And also late last night, I believe it was, Russell Westbrook got traded to the Houston Rockets. Now, this is why I don't like basketball though, because Oklahoma City now has like 6 first-round picks. They have a extra first round pick in the 2024 draft, extra pick in the 2026 draft. Dude, that's 7 years away. Like when you play Madden or even NHL hockey, franchise mode, and you're trying to make this big trade for LeBron James or Tom Brady, you got 3 spots to put all the draft picks. Like, there should be some type of rule that says, listen, put a player, 2 or 3 draft picks, that's the most you could do. And if the other team is stupid enough to take a first-round draft pick from 7 years from now, to me, there's no value in that draft pick. Why would you take it? But good for Leonard. He got paid. I think this move is definitely going to put the Rockets up there, because they've been right there the past 2-3 seasons and just couldn't get over the hump. A little college football talk. UCF starting quarterback Darrell Mack Jr., who was actually competing with a former Notre Dame quarterback of ours, Brandon Wimbush, broke his ankle this past week and is out indefinitely. Now, UCF has bad luck with quarterbacks, because I don't know if any of you guys remember, Mack was actually the backup to Mackenzie Milton last season, and in the one game last year, Milton actually had a bad knee injury, season-ending knee injury, and is actually going to be out all of this season as well. So Mac, you gotta figure, when he after the season found out that Milton was going to be out for the year, had to figure, finally get my starting job. Wimbush transferred from Notre Dame to UCF because Ian Book is the starter there now. I'm glad that Kelly is not doing the duo quarterback. That I hated that. And I know Shoulders always said too, you're not giving your quarterback a chance to get in the groove. I mean, you can't just put him in there for 5 plays and be like, you're not working, I got to pull you. You got to give him 2-3 drives. Back to back to back, not a game. So now, Wimbush pretty much is going to be the starter. And just to show you how bad the quarterback situation is for UCF, their backup behind Wimbush is going to be a redshirt freshman, Quadre Jones, and a true freshman, Dylan Gabriel, who is quote-unquote competing for the starting job as well. But like I said, Wimbush is going to pull this out. And he's an okay quarterback. I mean, he's not going to be no NFL quarterback. He's got a big body to be like a Cam Newton running around, but he's not accurate with the ball. And that's, I think, where his downfall was at Notre Dame. I mean, I do remember when he came in 2 years ago in the bowl game, but even then he was just running. You need to be able to pass, even short passes, medium passes, just to keep the defense honest. But we'll see how he does. I hope he does good enough at UCF. Unless he plays Notre Dame, and I hope we destroy him. I can't wait till the college season comes. It's roughly about a month away. I mean, you got training camp starting in 2 weeks, so probably mid-August you'll start seeing some college football games start up. And like college football, to me, always kind of like it's like the first beer. It wets the whistle just a little bit, just to get you going. And when NFL season starts, it's time to get drunk. So, speaking of NFL, when I was looking up stories, what to talk about and stuff like that for all of us, one article I saw was about make or break season for some NFL players. It was like a top 10 list or so. But I only picked 3 here because one was actually a quarterback I wanted for Philly when Chip Kelly was with Philly. And that's Marcus Mariota for Tennessee. I really thought between Mariota and Winston, who's also on my list here, I really thought Mariota would be the better of the two. He's average at that. Hasn't played a full season. He has been hurt every year so far. He's never thrown over 3,500 yards. I mean, he's always had a decent running game. You know, he had DeMarcus Murray after he came from Philly. You know, last year he had a decent running game, but just never could put it together. And he's only signed through this year. If he doesn't have, I'm not saying he has to have MVP type season to come back. He needs to, one, play a full season. He needs to, I think, have at least a 9 or 10 win season for Tennessee to think about giving him, maybe sign him a 1-year deal with a option for a second. See if he could put it back-to-back seasons, because, again, he's going on 3-4 years now, and they always say by the 4th year, if you don't have it as a quarterback, you're not going to make it in this league. Now, when you look at Jameis Winston, I think his problem is just can't stay out of trouble. I mean, he's stats-wise probably equal, if not a little bit better than Mariota. And you got Bruce Arians, who's kind of like the quarterback whisperer, coming in for Tampa Bay. If Bruce Arians can't do something with this kid, he could be a career backup the rest of his career. Because, I mean, where else would he go? You know, maybe he go to the Raiders, because another quarterback is Derek Carr, which is kind of funny because the first couple years he was in the league, he played a lot better than his brother, even though his brother got smashed left and right in Houston. Now, even though he is signed through the 2022 season, this is basically the last year of any guaranteed money. So after this year, they could cut him and not have any type of repercussions, you know. And on top of that, you brought Antonio Brown in. You drafted one of the better running backs. You know, they put the offensive pieces around him. There should be no reason why he can't have a bad or a good season. You know, again, this should be another situation where he needs to win 9 or 10 games, and not position-wise, maybe Gruden might need this too for a make or break year. I know they gave him a 10-year contract or whatever it was, but we all know how the NFL is. It's all about what have you done lately. And with them moving to LA next year, or not LA, Vegas next year, they may want to, if it don't work out for Derek Carr, they may want to just overhaul the whole team and start fresh and get their own quarterback in there that they want to get. Obviously, Brown is stuck there with the contract they gave him. Gruden, even though I just said it's probably make or break for him, they're stuck with him for at least a few more years. So we'll see how that goes. I think this year, as far as if I have to pick a Philadelphia Eagle make or break, I would say, honestly, it'd probably be like Ronald Darby. You know, he signed a 1-year deal. He got hurt last year with the ACL. A little bit up and down of a season for him when he did play. And it's a prove-it deal. So, let's see how he goes. I think another make or break could be Dak Prescott. Wants that big contract. Just came out and said that he won't give a hometown discount. Which, again, I mean, how much more of a discount can you give when you're crap? So you're probably asking for $1 a year. They're not paying Zeke Elliott, so they have the money. So for Prescott to get paid, I think he needs to win the division and get to a championship game. Show that you could win with this team. You know, as much as I don't like Elliott and Shoulders don't like Elliott, he's a good running back. I'll give him that. You know, when he's on the field, he's a very good player. Just out the field shit is what's giving him a bad name. So we will see. Like I said, I mean, the season, the training camps should be opening up in like 2 weeks or so. Before you know it, week 1 will be here, and we'll be talking Eagle football, NFC East football, you know, upsets, injuries, all that lovely stuff. Before we go, like I said, head over to iTunes and Spotify, Google Play. Tune in, subscribe to us there. Head over to our Facebook page, like and share there. Head over to our YouTube page, subscribe to our channel. Go over to Twitter, follow us over there at ST Sport Podcast. And you can follow my personal one at Jimbo ST Sports. Now, to give you guys a heads up, I know me and Shoulders have been kind of off and on with shows and stuff like that, but there definitely won't be any shows from us next week. I may try to put together like a best of or something, because next Saturday I'm finally getting married, and you know, anybody that ever got married knows how stressful the week is. So I was really trying to plan to try to get something in, but just too much stuff going on, I think. So figured I'd take it in and take it easy with this. So in 2 weeks we will be back. Till then, this is your good friend Jimbo signing out.